TPE Network. Fun yet informative podcasts.
I botched that intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mouse House Plus episode 42. I'm your host, Hank, and joining me, John. John, how are you? Oh, you muted yourself.
Sorry. I'm doing good, Hank.
We just had an outstanding intro here on the video front, but that is amazing. I love it. You can't make stuff like that up. I love it. I love that t-shirt. We'll get to that in a little bit. Did you want to jump right into some fun-filled news?
Yes.
All right, first things first. We had a little bit of what if information that I wanted to bring along here. The first thing was, did the what if series turn some people off? Now, this report came out of the UK, but I don't think it is exclusive to UK viewers. I think there was some of this consternation in the United States as well. John, what are your thoughts on what if potentially turning some people off?
I can see it happening. So if you got Disney Plus to follow up on these MCU characters, and then you're introduced to a cartoon series that basically says, you know, forget everything that you've now learned up to this point. We're just doing something, whatever. And not to mention it's a cartoon too. I can see how that would turn some people off. So unless you were a fan and you wanted to see it, now, I mean, the thing is, again, I understand why they did that. They want to show the multiverse. You can't show the multiverse in a live scenario every single time. That's such a huge waste of money for them to be able to put something forward. Cartoon makes sense, but it's not for everybody.
Most certainly not for everybody, but I don't know. Is it too early to rehash the old argument of should every episode be a standalone, legit anthology, with an overarching story, or should it just be one little standalone episode, complete, done, that's it?
I mean, it technically, if we're going how the What If series comic books went, it should be a one-time thing.
All right.
Maybe down the road there would be some mention, or maybe we could revisit that. But it doesn't typically happen. So them doing this crossover at the end, I think they were just trying to it's how do you do your Avengers event moment in a cartoon, which only makes sense to do it with, having everyone at the end. But all the comic books aren't like that. It's not like, you pick up a what if series and then after you read 10 of it, there's one great big, collection of everything you just read. No, it's you read one. I had a comic book that was what if the Age of Apocalypse never ended off of the X-Men series. So actually that one, the drawings of it were completely astonishing, but I liked it. I was a fan of the Age of Apocalypse, but there isn't a lot of people who are fans of that. Probably not a lot of people who picked that one up, but that was your standalone. Took care of, just kind of let you know what happened afterwards. But there's been no more on that. Now, have other things from the Age of Apocalypse been popping up for the last 20 years? Of course. In fact, as of recently, and this is also another one. Sorry, no, I just had a brain fart there because I got two different series together. No, because you get Holocaust, who was the child of Apocalypse. I don't know. He made him or something. I know that that I saw him in some recent comic books coming up, but then another comic book line was the Onslaught series. And I mean, that was forever ago. And every now and then you get another Onslaught something. In fact, in this last comic book series, he had this entire comic book line, dealing with the possibility that Onslaught could remanifest, based upon the new X-Men series. So it's possible. You can't completely rule it out. But is it something that they typically do all the time? No. I mean, again, whenever we got to the end of Party Thor and the Ultron bots are coming through the portal, automatically I was like, whoa. So this is different because I mean, even how they did the Watcher, because the Watcher was like, what just happened here?
Right.
And so I mean, if anything, I guess they were trying to make it so like not even the Watch. I mean, clearly, not even the Watcher knew what was going on. So he was supposed to be surprised, even though he's a cartoon, and we were supposed to be surprised at the same time. But
I was hoping you were going to say, not even the Watcher saw that one coming.
No, I'll leave the bad puns for you.
Oh, my goodness. Sticking with what if, the what if writers revealed that there were two things that were off limits. I can't remember. Did we talk about this story before?
No, we have not.
Okay. They said, one, we couldn't do anything that the movies or TV shows were already doing. And then the other one was they did not want to include any elements from the Star Wars universe, which is a no-brainer, but I get why somebody would want to do that. If you work for Disney and you have the keys to the castle, you think you do, and you would say, here's two great things, let's put them together, peanut butter chocolate.
Well, I mean, then Patton Oswalt would win. He'd win the internet.
Yeah,
everything would just shut down, because then someone who made like a completely like spoof riff off of a TV show actually happens. Now, I want to point out that it was brought to everyone's attention that some of those scenes that Ultron pushes the Watcher through are identical backgrounds to some of the worlds from Star Wars.
Yeah,
specifically from Clone Wars.
Okay, you did specify that to me.
Yeah, and so, you know, I can't see how, I mean, maybe they slipped it in because, I mean, it's not like they officially said it was Star Wars. I mean, this is just people being like, it could have been, it might have been. But, I mean, they're trying to get away. You know, I would do it. I'd try and sneak something in there like that they wouldn't catch.
What's this?
Yep. But doing something that they've already done or what they're going to do, I mean, the stories that they're telling were so like abstract that how could they even come close to anything what they're currently doing?
Right.
I mean, the only one that had any kind of there's two of them, two that had somewhat of a close like knit to a story, which would have been the one where Hank Pym was killing everybody off, because I mean, you started, you know, every single introduction was starting just like in the movies. And then the other one was with Killmonger. Now I know that whole story was completely changed, but all the things that happened in that episode were things that happened in, you know, Iron Man 2. And, you know, so I don't know. They didn't touch on, no, they did. They touched on it. So I don't know how they can turn around and say that was rule that they abided by, because to me it looks like they did do that or got close anyway.
Yes, I agree. I think you're 100% spot on with that. Now, a lot of people have been checking out our YouTube channel. It's at TP Network on YouTube. And Mel and I kind of discussed this, but I want to get John's thoughts on Kamala Khan Ms. Marvel's new look, powers wise. Like they have a stranger way that they're kind of animating things instead of her, what is it, polymorphic abilities.
I don't know what
this
you would
looks
call. I just
more
thought
like
it was Mr. Fantastic's ability. So, but
don't say that. I got blasted. I got ratioed the other day for saying that.
Okay.
But
okay, fine. What are the DC characters? No, I'm kidding.
The same ones, basically, just from DC. But I wanted to get your thoughts, because it looks like they use like this crystally looking, almost like that pocket dimension that Doctor Strange made for himself. It was almost that kind of stuff that she's got around her hand, and she's going to be utilizing that bracelet or whatever. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on if it's, you know, is it passable? Is it something you're going to be picky about?
I mean, you can go ahead and say, is she Green Lantern now? I think that you want to say that without actually, you know, leading me in that direction.
I said that, and the guy that started the ratio said that was an S take on my part. And I said, no, it's not. That's a legit take on my part.
All right, so here's what everything that I know and that's out there. She doesn't have this. She doesn't have stretching ability like she does in the comics, but we know that it's not going to be the same because there are no Inhumans right now, because that is a social no in the Disney verse, considering how bad it failed before. Why would you bring an absolutely flunked out race of people back into the world? So, but they want to have her because they want to do a show that's going to be able to connect into the movies, into the Marvels, and also be, something for kids to watch. Now she's got to have these bands, and then the bands are basically going to do exactly like what Green Lantern does. Now, here's what I'm thinking: that these bands that she have are going to be related to the bands that Shang-Chi has.
10 rings.
Yeah.
12 rings.
Yeah, that it's more or less, more added to that. So I think what they're doing here is whatever this technology, wherever it's from, is going to be creeping into the MCU in more than just one show.
Wait a minute.
One movie.
Wait a minute, I've got it. And that's one correction I want to make. I made this mistake the other day, but there is going to be her own standalone series, supposed to allegedly. There's rumors speculating early next year, like February, March. And then we're going to have the movie.
Yeah.
So they're going to do both. I thought they truncated it down to just one or the other.
No. This series is going to lead us into the Marvels.
The Marvels. Oh,
so like at the end of this is going to be like they'll dead end with her either meeting up or somehow, like, she'll probably get picked up by a sword. Honestly,
that'd be cool.
That make the most sense. And then that's where she meets Photon, and then we have the start of the Marvels because reasons.
We have to team up because budgets. That's outstanding. So I like the power look, and a lot of people on the internet do not. So don't go out there and cross them, because they will ratio you, which means more thumbs down than thumbs up.
All right. So my only thing to that is that, yes, I understand. I can get it that you wouldn't be happy with that because it's not the same as the comics. But I mean, we've already seen through the MCU, they don't do everything like the comics. They try and get as close as possible. But their hang up right now is they don't have the mutants interjected yet into the series. So they can't turn around and say she's a mutant. And the Inhumans are a dead race that completely flunked. So but she is an Inhuman.
They're on the moon. They're on the moon right now. They're just waiting their time.
Oh, they're just
couldn't get involved.
You're just ignoring everything. They're
like the Eternals. They can't get involved unless it's somebody that's, some specific use case reasons.
So I can agree on both sides, because it's not the same as what she normally does, because you can't see a lot of the same antics as she does. But I guess if they're going to try and give her the Green Lantern, style powers, but if it's more like this, actually all these pictures I've seen remind me of the mutant armor, who basically her mutant power is to create like an armored shell around her. And it makes her bigger because, I mean, she's inside basically an armor suit that's, psychically generated. And this is what this kind of looks like here. But unless Marvel's going to introduce the mutants, which they're not anytime before this series comes out, then there's no way of being able to try and figure out exactly what is. Because the other thing too is, I mean, it would be easy. They could do it because mutants get their power right at puberty, and she's like right in that age range. But it's, I don't think that they want to push that yet, because I feel that it would, to you and me, and probably most of the people that listening to this, it would make sense for them to sneak mutants in every now and then have a big reveal. But I think that they're not going to sneak it. They're just going to go for the big reveal.
Okay. I like it. I like where your head's at. Oh, man, this one is a doozy, because Shang-Chi star Simu Liu teases crossover with Anthony Mackie's Captain America. And then he was like, in the interview, he's like, I've said too much. He Tom Holland this thing, or did he, John? What do you think? Is this misdirect or is this legit?
Whenever they're outspoken like that, I really don't know how to believe it, because it could be just a promotion ploy. Yeah, so they're saying that, and it might actually happen, because why would you even voice something like that? They can say any person in the entire MCU right now, and they're like bringing up one that's from a different movie franchise. So I kind of think it may actually happen.
Okay.
Because they had, that's what a lot of them do. A lot of them like let that little bit go. I mean, the only one that's been weird was all the Spider-Man basically saying they're not in the next Spider-Man movie, and then we know that they're in the Spider-Man movie because they basically like laid out this entire like phony, all this is the stuff that we've been doing. In reality, that's not what they've been doing. They've actually been on set.
Right. And I also wanted to say, do you think that going forward in phase 4 and 5, do you think most movies are just going to be ensembles?
Yeah. I mean, unless we need to have that one-off that's going to explain a character like Shang-Chi.
Okay. Because it feels like they are just going to shoehorn more people into stuff now because they have more characters than screen time. That's just my opinion.
Well, and the other thing about that is that it relates to more people. So instead of having like, a Captain Anthony Mackie's Captain America in there, what about, the now hip and like all the fans of Shang-Chi, you bring that character in. Now you're bringing in a whole other demographic into the MCU to like want to look at that. And I think that's what they're doing with a lot of it, because if you're a fan of one specific character, and then that character, like say, for example, the Hulk doesn't have its own movie, or at least a movie that's worth talking about, it, constantly slipping him in other movies gives you the ability that, hey, we haven't forgotten about him, and look, he's right there, and then you can be like, oh, I'm so happy that he's there, I got to see him, blah blah blah. But I think it's more of a ploy for them to keep characters relevant, as well as to make sure that they're trying to please everybody by cross-pollinating everything.
But my thing is, when you try to please everyone, I had a boss tell me this back in the day, and it is true. When you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one, because somebody's going to say, so-and-so should have more screen time. And then other people go, hey, why is he weaseling in his movie? He can have a standalone movie, and why can't he have a standalone movie? You know what I'm saying? So you're going to get into that tick for tacky type stuff. And I think you need to tell a story that makes sense. So if the overarching story is these people are going to have to team up to do XYZ, then go ahead and do it. But if you're just doing it so you can check boxes, I think that's absolutely the wrong direction to go. That's just my opinion. But I will reserve judgment until, one, this is confirmed to be true or false, and then two, we actually get to see it on screen and go from there.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you there, because I think that you're actually seeing that right now, because you're one of the people that thinks that they're muddying the waters with as many shows that they're putting out, and that this leads right into this conversation.
Yeah. And we talked about this years ago. It was me and you. We were like, what is the point of superhero fatigue and oversaturation of characters? And I think we're getting very close, because when you do these movies, you got to stick the landing. But if you start having more 7s, than you do 9s and 10s, that's when people start to get a little antsy and go, okay, maybe we could have left that one in the holster and then come back when we had something legit, so we'll see. We'll see how it works.
Well, to go along with that, let me ask: do you have any Eternals stuff in here right now?
No, but I did want to do a video about that. Them getting ratioed by the critics.
Yeah, that's sitting at 62 right now, and that's like, and from what I understand, that's one of the lowest Rotten Tomatoes scores for all of the Marvel movies.
I heard that's the lowest, not one of. The lowest.
Well, no, the other one's like, Black Widow, but you're right. No, this is the lowest. Yeah. I will still go and see it.
I don't know if I'll be seeing it. So you and Mel will probably be reviewing that one. And that's critics. Critics are usually pretty favorable to Marvel, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, this might be them saying that, look, like you guys are just trying to put whatever out. But I do believe that the point of the Eternals is primarily to deal with the Celestials. That's what I think.
Because it better be. I mean, but you're telling it too late to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have rather seen this way prior to Infinity Wars.
See, and the other question is that would it be better to have been a movie and or a series? I mean, personally, I'm enjoying the series more than going to see a movie. Well, first off, I'm paying a lot less.
Yep.
And it gives us more to talk about, and as well as when you have a series, it's you drop an episode, entire week, everyone is talking about it. Yep. So you go to see a movie, then it's only being talked about as long as that movie's relevant.
Right.
So, and it's what, like maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 at the most.
3 weeks at the most, yeah.
And with a series, if you have it spread out once a week, I mean, that's a couple months.
Agree. And with a series, you can flesh out characters detailed.
Mm-hmm.
I just have bad vibes about that movie. So we'll see if they're true or not. I will watch it, but it's going to be probably not in theaters.
Well, I guess Mel and I will let you know how it is.
Yeah. For once, Mel will see something before me. That's amazing.
Uh-oh.
All right. And last story we have for this episode. I wanted to talk about the Disney has teamed with VeVe, the largest mobile first digital collectibles platform in the world, to announce a collaboration in time for Disney Plus Day on November 12th. Put a pin in that one because I want to come back to that. Launching a series of NFTs, those non-fungible tokens, featuring some of the most beloved characters from Disney's franchises. They will be available for purchase on the VeVe app very soon and will culminate with a special ultra rare digital collectible on November 12th. I cannot stand that everybody is doing a something day. That is driving me nuts. Every day is something. It's pretzel day. It's this day. It's like it used to be special and rare, and now it is just every day is some dumb other day.
What isn't today TPE day? I thought today was TPE Network Day.
No, we'd be partying if that were the case. We'd be over here partying.
You got to put the video on. I can't wait to see Hank come by with a little celebration cone hat on.
I'll let you have some confetti. I had some confetti. We're partying, but but let's just move on to NFTs. I think they are. Me and Big Mike, a fellow TB network host, were talking before we recorded, and I kind of equate them to almost like fool's gold. Just like this thing, I've got the newest and greatest this, and it's like, oh, that's cool, but it's not real per se.
And I know there is an organization that was doing like Star Trek ships as well, and I think like the Enterprise D sold for like $5,000 or something like that, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. You're playing a game. There's only one of these in the entire game. But you just spent $5,000, if not more, on something that's not real, just so you can say that you have that.
Nope.
And what happens if nobody wants to end up playing the game anymore and then the servers drop? Now I beta tested a first-person shooter called Ghost in the Shell First Assault. I mean, I sank a little bit of money into it because if you, at the very beginning, especially when you're beta testing, they gave you free stuff, but they also gave you like discounts and stuff. But after like 2 years of playing, I guess they just didn't see the amount of people that they wanted. They shut the servers down. I didn't get anything back for that. It's all gone.
That sucks. And I'm noticing it in video games. Every video game I play now, they want to sell me outfits and characters and all this other stuff, weapons. And I'm just like, at first, it was like a cool shortcut because I worked so much that I was like, I don't have time to put in an 8-hour video game day and get all this stuff. So I was like, cool. And I can level up and be right up there with the competition and fictitiously blow their head off. But now it's just becoming another stream of income for these companies, and they're just going, here's an incomplete game, we'll sell you the rest of it, don't worry. So I don't know if I like this or not.
Well, I mean, part of it is that it's the pay to win method, as well as their gambling ratio. Because there's a lot of groups that are doing that. It's the reason why, like okay, I play Star Trek Online, so I know that all their loot boxes is considered a gambling, and that's always up in question. And I know that's probably going to hit the fan at some point in time.
Oh yeah,
but they made the game that every single ship that you have there, you know, since you can completely set it up however way you want, and you can upgrade things however way you want, that no matter what, there is no top end ship. Like, there is no ship to end all ships, you know. All of them have, everything in the same tier has the capability of being an equal player against somebody else. Just all depends on how you set it up. So that's how they eliminate that. Now, do they have other things such as outfits? You know, it's Space Barbie, of course. So that means that I got to get all the cool and hip outfits. I mean, shoot, I want to have that con shirt where it's cut down like all the way down to here. And yeah, man. But you know, I've been playing for so long that I had pretty much all the outfits because they were at some point in time a free giveaway, and I have them because of that. But I mean, I get it. They got to make their money somehow outside of, I mean, the game is a free to play game. So for them to do, they got to expect them to sell something out there.
Right.
It really, when you start having things that are like, oh, well, if you had this gun, you know, you are way ahead of everybody else, and you're just going to completely like whoop butt. That's not right, because that's a pay to play. That means that you're being forced to, if you want to do good, buy these goods off the internet.
Yes. You are 100% spot on. And what else is spot on? John's t-shirt. I'm here to tell you, if you're on the YouTube video, you've got to check his shirt out, man. It is available. tpenetwork.com. Just click the store button, and you'll not only get that, but you're able to get a whole bunch of our other designs. So head to tpenetwork.com, click the store button, and get you some TPE network gear. You will not be disappointed.
Now I'm sitting here thinking maybe I should have gotten that Superior Loki one with the Gator Loki to wear for Halloween with my
variant. Yeah. Oh man, we're thinking of stuff way too late. Darn it. Well, we tried. John, anything else? Has been a heck of a lot of fun.
No, I think that this last week's actually been, semi-quiet about things. So that just means that probably next week we'll hear a lot more.
You aren't kidding. That's usually the way it works. So we'll be back again next week. We appreciate you tuning in. But until then, for John, I'm Hank. We're signing off.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing else like it.